Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening as well to help us celebrate our almost last performance of the school year. We have a couple more wrapping up in the month of May, but our last concert that will feature our symphonic and our concert bands. So once again, thank you for joining us for that. We have a pretty jam-packed night of music for you, so I'm not going to spend too much time yammering over here. That first number, New Era Fanfare, was one that we gave this band early on when we were preparing for this concert, and they really took to it. And I think that really came through their performance this evening, and even when they were leading up to this evening with their preparation. They did a really, really nice job focusing on a lot of the finer details of the music, not just notes and rhythms. We had a lot of really, really good rehearsals. That's one thing about this concert band over my shoulder here. They're a really, really good rehearsing band. They do a really nice job putting all the puzzle pieces together. We are going to move on now to another unique piece. It is called Overture de Argentina. Thanks again for being with us this evening. So when we were talking about this concert and we were talking about the date and we were getting ready to send it out, someone said, wait, our concert's on May 4th? And I was really hoping nobody would notice. But I was told that today is Star Wars Day. Do we have any Star Wars aficionados out in the crowd? All right. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. So they said we should play some Star Wars. I said, nah. And I said, all right, well, we'll see. So one day they come into the room and I have written on the board, Imperial March. And of course they got really excited. They were so excited to start band that day. And when they opened their folders to find their new sheet music, it was actually a march named Imperial, written by Carl King. That's very reminiscent of a John Philip Sousa march. I thought it was funny. I think it made one person in the room who enjoyed it. So we tried it. They humored me for a second, but I met them in the middle, and we are now going to do a John Williams medley. There's actually a lot of really nice symmetry, not just May the 4th, but this year is also the 30th anniversary of the Jurassic Park movie that featured music also written by John Williams. So we would be remiss to not honor him this evening. So this next piece, you'll probably recognize a few of the selections that are found within. This is the John Williams medley. Before we complete this portion of the evening with our final number with concert band, I just want to encourage everybody. I know you're going to stay around anyway, but I wanted to encourage you to stick around for the remainder of our show. We have some more amazing music that our kids worked really, really hard on, including a few senior features as well. So we really hope everyone's able to stick around and hear those before the night is over. Again, just really quickly before we start our last number, I do again want to thank the students of concert band. Really, I can get up there every day and tell them what to do and say things until I'm blue in the face, but they're the ones that bring it out in the performance, and they do a really, really nice job. They've done a nice job this year stepping up, really paying attention to the finer details, and at times performing beyond their years. We had our district contest back in March, and this year, which this band normally goes Class C. And when we were passing out music, I told them, here's a Class B, which is the class above, a little bit more difficult. I said, I think if we rehearse the way we did in the fall, we definitely have a shot at performing well in Class B. My only fear is the sight reading portion of that gets harder. You remember the sight reading portion from our Music in Our Schools Month concert. Well, we got there, and for their first time performing, they did fantastically in my mind. They got straight 2s, 1 being the best rating you can get. They got straight 2s from our judges on the prepared music. And when we went to sight read, the thing I was most concerned with and just kind of nervous about, they got a 1. They got the best rating you could get. And they were very much deserving of that rating. If you were, obviously that's not open to the public, but that performance in that room was a really, really outstanding performance. So how about a round of applause for concert band for that? If we were able to sway one of those judges, or if I would have given one of them $50 to give us a 1 instead of a 2, this band would have received a 1 overall, the highest rating that you can get in the contest. So we took a gamble, we went to a harder class, and they were that close to achieving an overall superior rating. So again, I can't put into words enough how proud I am of this group and what they've accomplished this year. And again, we've reached our final number with concert band. This piece, Metro Dance, is actually written by the same composer who wrote our opening number, New Era Fanfare. So you might recognize a couple of different themes that kind of make their way back in his music. But this is a really high energy piece, another piece that requires a lot of finesse, and I think our students in concert band have done a wonderful job preparing this for you. So thank you again for coming this evening. This is Metro Dance. I feel like I cut that applause early. How about another round for our concert band? All right, so we are going to have just a brief changeover from concert band to symphonic band, and we'll be right back with you shortly. Thank you again. All right, welcome back. You're probably wondering why we have this wheel here. Hopefully you all picked up your bingo cards on the way in. If not, there's one on the last page of the program. The first number will be drawn here shortly. No, that's not what we're doing. This past month, we did our Spirit Raffle fundraiser, which really goes a long way towards funding our program. So first of all, thank you to George Seamer and the rest of the band parents who helped organize this and make this what it was this year. It was another fantastic fundraiser for the band program. A second thank you to everybody who purchased from a student or from a family, again, to support our program. It just goes a really, really long way to making sure that the product that you hear on the stage tonight and on the field in the fall, just everything about our program is as top-notch as it has been up until now. So again, thank you for your continued support in whatever way it comes through, but especially if you are a participant in this fundraiser. As a token of thanks, we have 3 prizes. We actually have the 3rd place and the 2nd place prize with us this evening. So if your number is called here shortly, feel free to come up and redeem your prize. First prize, we will have, we'll arrange a time for you to collect that from George as well. But I would like to bring out George to actually tumble the wheel here, and then we'll get to picking our 3rd place winner. We spared no expense with a drum roll. This, again, is for the 3rd place prize, the $100 lottery prize. The name is Carrie Smith. Is Carrie in the audience this evening? That's right. I think they're Jocelyn's in middle school, so they'll probably be here next week. But Carrie wins 3rd place. All right. We will spin again for the 2nd place. Could I have my drum roll, please? Thank you. Second prize. George, what was 2nd prize? The 6-month car wash voucher goes to, is it Marcy Wilkeson? Is Marcy in the audience? Yes. All right. And now for the grand prize. As George is spinning the wheel, if anyone wants to bribe me last minute to pick their raffle ticket, now's the time. No? Okay. The grand prize goes to Melinda Ross. Is Melinda in the audience? All right, congratulations again to our 3 winners, and again, thank you very much for supporting our programs through this fundraising opportunity. We are now going to continue the evening with our symphonic band. Again, we have a few seniors that are going to be featured here shortly, but we would like to open with the entire group. Going back to district contests, as we talked about with concert band, symphonic band, it was all of their students' first time going through that process as well. A little bit different outcome, but in a really nice way. They received straight 1s from their 3 judges for their prepared numbers, and then we went right across the hall and earned another 1 in the sight reading room. So they got straight 1s across the board for an overall superior rating. Once again, the highest that you can get. So just like the concert band, their rehearsal etiquette and their performance going into district contests and then to tonight, as you'll see here shortly, really second to none. We've done a really nice job being meticulous and planning all of the little nooks and crannies of these pieces so that they come out as well as they can. So once again, thank you for sticking around with us. Here is the symphonic band. All right, thank you again. We are going to move on to our first senior feature. We are going to start off with Mr. Ryan Lamb, senior tuba player. You can read a lot of his accolades and accomplishments as a musician in your program. But that being said, it's pretty difficult to fit all of them in there. Ryan has been extremely active during his time as a musician here in the Canfield schools through his different performances, his different performance opportunities, playing different instruments in the marching band, playing bass guitar, and in jazz ensemble, playing tuba, sousaphone, and acting as our junior and senior drum major his last 2 years with the marching band. In addition to all the accolades that are in the program, and there is one that's listed that I just want to highlight, Ryan was in the All-State Orchestra this year as, I believe, the lone tuba player in the ensemble. And then, again, that is students chosen from across the entire state of Ohio. And we have a lot of wonderful programs in this state, but Ryan earned that position in that ensemble. Talking to some of our paraprofessionals that come in on a daily basis and talking to the rest of the staff, Ryan really has a fantastic foundation on the tuba, which anybody could tell you is not an easy instrument to even be decent at, let alone proficient at this level. Luckily for all of us, Ryan is going to continue his musical journey. He is going to pursue music education right in our backyard at Youngstown State University. They are very fortunate, even if they don't say it, I'm sure they will. They are very fortunate to have him join the ranks of their low brass studio. I know he will be an asset to their program moving forward. Just hearing Ryan on a daily basis, playing in the ensemble, and then scarfing down his lunch in 5 minutes so he can come down and continue practicing his tuba. You certainly couldn't question the dedication he has to improving and getting better and making sure that he is as good as he can be on his instrument. This evening, he is going to play not an easy piece. He's going to play the Rafe Vaughan Williams tuba solo. He is going to be accompanied by Anthony Ruggiero on piano. And you are in for a real treat with his performance. So I would like to bring out senior tuba soloist, Mr. Ryan Lamb. Told you. Congratulations, Ryan, on a wonderful, wonderful performance. How about another round of applause for Mr. Ryan Lamb? So it's not often you come across tuba players of that caliber, although Canfield has had a pretty good lineage recently of tuba players. Another instrument family you don't tend to get super qualified musicians on is the double reed family, the oboes, the bassoons, English horns. It's just such a difficult instrument to get a good sound on, to really be successful on. It just takes so much attention to detail. And again, it's not always often that you come across one player in your program who is proficient on the double reed. We are very fortunate to have about like 5 or 6. And in this next trio, we get to feature 2 of our senior members who are extremely proficient on these instruments, accompanied by one of their sophomore classmates as well. We have, of the 2 seniors to be featured in this next group, we have Gabriella Smallwood, our principal oboe player, who, if you remember back at our winter concert, performed the double reed solo for the Russian Christmas performance that we did that evening, and she did fantastically at that event. And then we have on English horn for this particular piece, but traditionally on bassoon, we have Irene Dong, and Irene and Gabby are both past All-State members as well. Gabby was the lone representative from Canfield High School in the All-State band this year. We were fortunate enough to have 5 students total, 4 in the All-State orchestra and 1 in the All-State band get selected this year. Hearing both of those ensembles in Columbus back in February, they both performed fantastically. And again, it's not often that you have this much talent in those 2 very important instrument families in an ensemble, in the tuba, like we just saw, and in the double reed. So luckily for you, you're in for a second treat in a row here. This double reed trio, again, it takes such command of these instruments to make them sound good, and you're about to hear some wonderful, wonderful performers on all of these instruments. So I would like to now bring out our double reed trio featuring Gabriella Smallwood, Irene Dong, and Emelina Papalardo. Sorry, we have to give them another round of applause, too. How about that performance? Luckily, Gabriella, even though not going into music at Kent State, is still going to keep music in her life. Obviously, she's a wonderful piano player. I believe she might be pursuing that in some capacity in college as well. Irene is not going to pursue music in college. She'll be a little bit busy. She has made her the decision to go to MIT. So I would imagine the hours would get pretty full studying for coursework at MIT. The fallback option was Harvard, so she's in pretty decent shape there. And then Emmy's got 2 more years before I talk about her. She's a sophomore. One person I do want to recognize too. I mean, listening to them, the first name that came to mind was their private instructor, Catherine Dick, who teaches over at Music Gallery right up the road. When I was taking my private music lessons there, I used to always have to walk through Kathy's lessons to get to my trumpet lesson, and for decades, she has produced fantastic talent on both double reed instruments and alto saxophone. She is one of the premier educators in our community. We are so fortunate here at Canfield to have the paraprofessional structure that we do, but also we have some outstanding private teachers. Kathy has just a wealth of knowledge, and as you can hear from their performance, I mean, she really, really leads them in the correct direction. I don't even know if Kathy is here, but if she is, I just want her to understand that we're very appreciative. Is she? Kathy, where are you? Hiding in the back. Go figure. Well, Kathy, I want to thank you personally for the job you do with not just the 3 students we listen to, but all of your students over all of the years. I was very fortunate when I was at Western Reserve before arriving here. Kathy's daughter was my assistant music teacher within the district. And yeah, her daughter Elizabeth was my assistant and was a fantastic resource there, and that musical knowledge really trickled down to her as well. So, Kathy, thank you. Stick around. I'd like to see you at the end if you are, in fact, here. Chit Chat. You can be mad at me for putting you on the spot. But we are going to continue now with the rest of our program. We have 2 more selections for you from our full symphonic band. This next piece requires, just like everything else we've heard tonight, requires so much finesse in so many areas. And there really aren't a lot of groups in the area that would perform it as well as our group. We're very fortunate to be able to perform music like this for our audiences. So without further ado, I would like to bring back our symphonic band. Thank you again. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say it, but before we perform our last programmed number, I just again want to thank your constant support for our program. I mean, I can't overstate how good of a thing we have here at Canfield High School, and really within the whole program, starting in our elementary level with Mr. Fay and Ms. Summers, obviously going to the middle school with Mr. Volinick and Mr. Evans in the choir department, and then making our way up here, myself and my colleague, Mr. Tom Skurich. We just have such a wonderful faculty, a wonderful music program of teachers and obviously students, but really it is what it is because of not just that, but your support day in and day out. So I again want to thank you, and I hope you're able to give yourselves a round of applause here for your contribution. So thank you again. And speaking to my colleagues, I just want to give one quick shout out to Mr. Volinick and Mr. Fay. This being my first year, there was a lot of hurdles for me to overcome, and I would not have been anywhere near as lucky, proficient, successful, I don't know, whatever. I wouldn't have pulled the wool over so many eyes if it wasn't for them guiding me the correct direction. So I can't overstate enough the impact they've had on obviously all of your students, but myself this year. So I would like to give another round of applause to my colleagues, Mr. Volinick and Mr. Fay. As I said, this is our last programmed number, but we may not be done when we finish this piece. On your way out, we do have our usual collection for our sheet music fund. I need to be able to buy more Star Wars arrangements for the next time we are on May the 4th. So if you would be so kind on the way out as to donate to that fund, we would greatly appreciate that. And of course, we are going to have our traditional reception in the cafeteria as well. Again, this is our last program number, Fanfare and Flourishes. We hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. As I said, that was our last programmed number, but we do have one more treat, tradition, one more number kind of waiting in the wings for you here. One thing that I really enjoyed when I was here with my student teaching was learning about this tradition, and I wanted to make sure that it was something that we continued year after year once I took over. At this point, I would like to invite our symphonic band seniors who are on stage and our concert band seniors who are seated to come on up and form a line on the front part of the stage, please. As I told them on the last day of band camp back in August, this was the last thing we played before we wrapped it up for the month of August. And I told them at that point, I told the entire ensemble at that point, it'll be the last time they ever perform this number where it's just for them. As soon as we got done with that practice, school started, all the fall activities started, the craziness started, and things evened out. Their number one priority wasn't band at that point. And every time we played it afterwards, it was for a victory for our football team, or just, kind of as a part of a rehearsal. It just didn't really have the same meaning. But I want to sort of bookend that conversation we had back in August with this one. Seniors, you have put in so much time and effort to get to where you are with our music program. You had anything but a typical experience in high school. Your freshman year was a global pandemic. Okay, that's one way to start it off. The next 2 years were kind of figuring out how to get out of said pandemic. And then your senior year was the changing of the guard. And so everything that you were finally striving towards, that quote-unquote normalcy, still didn't quite arrive for you. At least from the short amount of time that I had you this year, you rose above all of that adversity and all of those challenges. And you really are to be commended for your leadership skills and your leadership by example throughout this year. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to perform the Canfield High School alma mater as our seniors sing for you on the front of the stage. How about it one more time for our seniors? Thank you again. We look forward to seeing everybody at the reception here shortly in the cafeteria. Thank you again, and have a wonderful evening.